Joining me now on this episode of Locally Sourced CP is one of the co-owners of PowerBull Bat Company, Mr. Kirk Grosser. Thank you for joining us today.
Oh, thanks for having me. Looking forward to it.
Can't thank you enough for joining me today. I've been wanting to get you on a long time more because, I'm such a huge baseball nut. And then just to know there's a batting company here, a bat making company here in El Paso, originally founded in Mexico. But I mean, it's just so cool to have someone on like that. You talk a little bit about PowerBull Bats and what you guys are all about.
Yeah, so PowerBull Bat Company, like you mentioned, started in Mexico in 2003 by my partner, Raul Salazar. And I've been in the business for 4 years now. And so we moved our operation from south of Chihuahua to El Paso. And like you said, it's exciting to be here in El Paso. We're proud to be here. And we're one of 37 MLB licensed bat makers in the country, or actually in the world. And we're just proud to be here in El Paso, representing Star City.
No, we'll take it to someone. Maybe I guess you could say, explain it in layman's terms. What exactly, would you tell someone, what kind of company are you? You guys make baseball bats, and what kind of baseball bats do you guys make?
So we manufacture wood baseball bats, and so people always say, well, my kids, he's little and we use metal bats, and that's great. I mean, absolutely. There's no comparison in terms to the performance of a metal bat. We're not trying to substitute that, but I will tell you, for any player that's trying to get into the game and get better at the game, regardless of the age, from 4 or 5, 6 years old up and through the pros, you've got to swing a wood bat to really understand the feel and really understand where the sweet spot is, where you want to hit the ball. And so we are a wood bat maker. Like I said, one of 37 MLB certified bat makers, and most of our wood that we use predominantly is maple, sugar maple, hard maple, same species of tree. That's about 90% of our bats are made out of hard maple. The remaining is about 8% is birch wood, and that's kind of the up and coming species of wood that's being used throughout the professional ranks. And then about 2% is ash. And probably most people are familiar with ash bats. That a lot of old pictures, feature ash bats. But that really isn't the wood of preference anymore at the major league level.
Oh, and is there a certain price range between the makes and the different types of woods that you guys use to make the bats?
Yeah, I mean, so our cost varies a little bit in terms of what we call a billet, or what's called a billet. Mm-hmm. That's the piece of wood that we buy, the raw material. It's a long cylinder, 37 inches long. The price to us varies a little bit. The price to the consumer, we keep it simple. So kids' bats, 32 inches and below, are $100. 33 or 32 and a half and up is $125. And it's interesting, we're probably going to have to raise our prices, unfortunately, here pretty soon with the pandemic and other things. Our cost of the wood, in fact, we order by the pallet. Our costs just went up about 30% since the beginning of the year. So, labor shortages and other things lead to that, and demand. And that's a whole other interview probably where we can talk about the economics of baseball and what goes into it.
I know. I mean, and the lumber and the wood prices going up, not just affects builders and contractors. It affects a company like you guys, because that's your bread and butter right there.
Yeah, that's the overwhelming majority of the cost that goes into the bat is the wood. Other costs that we have are the paint and those kinds of things that we do on the finishes, and shipping too. I mean, we kind of pass on the shipping costs, but even just things like boxes. I had to order more boxes. Each box that we put 6 bats in and ship to the pros, that costs us $10 net now, and it's going up a couple dollars too. So right. Price of everything, unfortunately, is going up, and I guess the pandemic's had an impact on all of that.
Yeah, that's a perfect lead into my next question was, how did you guys, how did the pandemic affect you guys, and how did you guys, especially being the local company, how did you guys manage through that?
I think I tell everyone it's been very difficult. There's no question it's been difficult for us, but I also think that we were so small that we were able to adjust. And I think Raul and I both, I'll pat ourselves on the back a little bit.
Hey, gotcha.
We kind of predicted, some things correctly. We predicted that there would be a shortage of labor to bring us the wood, so we ordered a couple pallets on the front end and kind of sat on it, hedged on it a little bit. We also, while things basically shut down, I mean, there was practically no youth baseball happening for the better part of a year. So that really hurt us. And then, from the pro side, we went from, I think it figured out to be like 30% or 32% of a normal season,
right?
Which is what was played. And that they say I've heard it from multiple people. If you can make it 3 years in this business, you'll be great and you'll do just fine. COVID, I don't know if that buys us an extra year or not, but things were ramping up really well for us. Before the pandemic, and then we were actually in Scottsdale for spring training. I was with the Indians. We were with the Indians the Sunday before things got shut down.
Oh,
and
really?
I like to tell the story because we have a picture hanging here in the shop of Ramil Reyes, who some folks may remember played here with the El Paso Chihuahuas. He's now with the Indians, and we were visiting with him on a Sunday morning, and we made a couple bats for him, and he used them in Monday's game, and hit 2 home runs against Mike Trout and the Angels that Monday. Tuesday's game was shut down, and Wednesday everything was cut off. Everything was shut down.
Wow,
and
yeah.
Quite literally, the players were locked out. They were told, stay in their apartment. And it was that real awkward time of, no one really knew what was going to happen. Are we going to go, even from the players' perspective, not just bat makers, but players, they were told to stay put for a little bit. They didn't know where they were going to go, how long they were going to be, in their apartments and houses and things that they've rented. International players like Ramil, who, was he going to go back to the Dominican? What was he going to do? It was a crazy time for everyone, bat makers included.
That I remember that week too. I was like, we were off for spring break last year for school, because I work for one of the school districts here locally, and we just never went back. It was just so crazy, man. And I'm grateful that I was still able to work and have a job, but man, this must have been some scary times for you and for a lot of the other businesses out there.
Like I said, I think we were so small that we were able to do some things and pivot where, we had experienced bat makers reaching out to us, guys that have worked for big companies like Victus, probably the best, most popular bat used today in Major League Baseball. I had guys that worked there for years who were reaching out to us at PowerBull saying, hey, I've been with Victus 6 years. I was laid off. Can you guys have any openings? Raul and I are looking at each other and like, no, we're barely getting by here. We're hoping to get through, but we were able to do it. And I think, better times ahead for sure.
I agree. I hope I'm hoping for the best, man. So especially for you guys and a lot of the local businesses. But one thing I wanted to ask, if that's okay, and I understand if you can't answer, but would you be able to talk about what players use your guys' bats in the majors?
Yeah, so it's a great question. We have a very small number of players under contract, and so the whole concept of contracts is kind of a dying, I guess, methodology in Major League Baseball. I think, quite honestly, because the players know that, if they want to be able to switch brands, they want that flexibility to do so. Right. If they get in a slump, they want to be able. Baseball players as you probably know, are incredibly superstitious.
Mhm.
So having players signed to contracts is kind of an old school methodology, although we do have a couple of young players. Halpozo for the Rangers, AAA. He'll be here in a couple of weeks playing the Chihuahuas.
Okay.
He's tearing it up right now for Round Rock Express. He's under contract with us. First baseman for the Brewers named Luis Castro. Young kid within their organization. He's actually with the AA team now in Biloxi. He's under contract. We've got a couple other guys with the Padres system under contract. But some of the bigger names at the major league level that have used our bats, Andrew Kisner he was the first player to use a Powerbull bat our very first year in 2019. Our goal was to have a Powerbull bat used by the All-Star break in our first year. And that we thought that was going into it, yeah, we should be able to do that. We didn't really realize how hard it was, but we missed that goal by a week. But Andrew Kisner, who played in the AAA All-Star game here in El Paso that summer, met with Raul at the stadium, and he loved one of our models, and so he took that model with him and used it a week after the All-Star break for the Cardinals. So he's kind of Yadi Molina's heir apparent, but Yadi keeps playing and keeps raking. So poor Andrew's been sitting on the bench for a while.
Kidding, man. That guy is just, especially his age as a catcher, a starting catcher. That is amazing, dude. That's just like, that's just a crazy. That's one crazy dude, man, and very talented.
And Yadi's a great guy, and you see on the field some of the antics, and just a great human being. And so Andrew Kisner was the first one to use it. Ramil Reyes hit quite a few bombs with it last year. Jose Ozuna, who's now playing in Japan, was using our bats last year. So we've got about 20. Chris Paddock, a pitcher who's from Texas. So when he found out we were from Texas, based out of Texas, he was like, "Kurt, I'm using your bats. Just you pick the bats for me." Although he's a pitcher, hey, we'll take good care of all these guys.
Yeah.
And he's another great individual. So we've got about 20, 25 guys at the major league level that have our bats, and we'll rotate them in and out. Just depends on the day and how they're feeling.
Right. That's so cool. You guys had that. You got that going for you guys. That's just so amazing. And you guys also like sell to the public too?
Yeah. So we have a shop just downtown from the stadium. So we utilize about 4,000 square feet. We're right on Paisano, 512 Paisano. So if you're familiar with, if you come down the big hill on Durango Street, you just keep coming down, you'll hit Paisano. We're like 1 block away from that. So from our shop to the stadium takes about 5 minutes to walk to, unless Dead Beach Brewery is right across the street. So if you walk by Dead Beach, it could take a couple hours. But if you go the other way and head straight to the stadium, 5 minutes. That's about it.
Well, then I'll have to take a trip down there so I can. I'm due for a new bat. Hopefully I can get back into either an old man adult league or just an adult league, because I still enjoy playing hardball. I'm not ready to retire to softball yet, but I need a new bat.
Paso's got. Well, I think I know a good place for you to get a bat. That's for sure. But El Paso has a sandlot team, I should say, Diablitos, and they may be looking for a player or two. So you'll have to look them up and give them a shot.
Right. Just let them. If you talk to them before I do, just let them know I can DH. I play first base and I can maybe pitch, but I need to hit the weights though. It's been a while.
Yeah, you and me both.
No, well, Kirk, I mean, I'll go ahead. I'll get all the information, include all your information below. That way, if anyone's interested, they can contact you guys and get some bats made and drawn up. And I mean, like you said, even little league, I agree with that. I mean, all my little league and high school career, I mean, I used metal bats, and it's a totally different game when you use wood. Like totally
absolutely different. Even if all you do is train with it, and really just feel the ball off that sweet spot, it'll really change the game for a hitter. But for little league teams, we love to bring in little league teams. We show guys how bats are made, show the whole team. So bring a team in now that the COVID restrictions are loosened up a little bit. everyone wear a mask, and we'll keep it nice and clean. But we'll show kids how to make a bat. And you'd be surprised how many pro players don't even know how
wow.
bats are made.
Yeah.
So when they come in, being located right from down from the stadium. In fact, we had a pro player from Albuquerque text me after the game last week when they were in town, and he's like, "Hey, if you'll stay at the shop, I want to come down and see, what you guys got going on." And we have a couple of batting cages here, so he stayed till about 11:30, 12 o'clock, trying different models and stuff like that. So it was a lot of fun.
Awesome. I might have to make a trip down there with my brother and his middle son. He's getting ready to start training, get back into college ball. He had to sit out his senior year because of COVID.
Yeah.
He didn't get to play, so he's trying to get back into it. So man, we can maybe go down there and check you guys out.
Absolutely. I can throw a mean BP.
Oh, nice. I'll take you up on that, man. But Kirk, I really appreciate everything. I'll go ahead and again, I'll include all of the information on PowerBull Bats Company down below. Is there anything else you want to say or add before we end today, man?
No, I appreciate the time and the energy. I think what you're doing is great. Shop local, or if I would say if people are looking for a bat, if even if you don't buy a PowerBull bat, buy a bat from a smaller bat shop. There's a lot. Like I said, we're one of 37 approved MLB suppliers. Warstick is another Texas company, great company, located in Dallas. But we try to support El Paso businesses, and I know that's what you're trying to do here. It's awesome, and we would appreciate the business. And come down, check us out, and see how bats are made.
Yeah, we'll go ahead and get you as many people as we can there, Kurt. And again, thank you for joining me today. And we'll hit you up, pun intended.
Yep, sounds good. Keep swinging.
Thanks, Kurt.
Take care. Bye.